Hey guys, how you doing? I'm just going to do a quick video today on a flea market haul that I went to a week ago. Picked up about 12 albums, so I just want to show some pretty good ones in here. One of the better flea market hauls, I would say. AC/DC, Blow Up Your Video. So this is AC/DC with Brian Johnson. I think this is a mid-80s album. I don't really know this album all that well. I only know two tracks. I guess there were the two singles off of this, Heat Seeker and That's the Way I Want My Rock and Roll. So that's only my third Brian Johnson AC/DC album. Then we have Otis Redding and Jimi Hendrix. This is from the Monterey Pop Festival. I think that was in 1967. So one side is Jimi Hendrix, one side is Otis Redding. Sound quality on this one is not great, but it's I guess I picked it up more for the historical significance of this. The performances are great, both by Jimi and by Otis, but again, the sound quality, not terribly good. Traffic, Last Exit, one of the remaining Traffic albums that I need to get. I think the only one I need at this point is the first one, Mr. Fantasy. So this Traffic album is 5 songs on the first side, studio songs, and 2 live tracks. I think from the Fillmore West on the second side. So 7 songs in total. And then the last remaining REM album that I wanted for my collection, Fables of the Reconstruction, which is REM's third album, I believe. Yep, third album. So Driver 8, Can't Get There From Here, Feeling Gravity's Pull. Got this for $12, which is a pretty good price. I'd seen it only once or twice before then. And REM albums, I think now are getting quite a good price. You're not going to find them cheap. So for $12, I was really happy to get this one. Now I have all the albums from Murmur up into and including Automatic for the People. Johnny Winter, self-titled album. I believe this is Johnny Winter's third album. There's a little bit of a sort of, a little confusing at the start of his career. His first album was called First Winter. Then he released something called Progressive Blues Experiment, which was his second album. Then this, the self-titled album, was the third album, and then the fourth album was Second Winter. So try and get that straight in your mind. This is a great Johnny Winter album, and probably the last one of his that I'm going to get. And then a solo album by Jack Bruce, Out of the Storm. Don't know where this fits into his discography. It's probably like his, third, let's call it, third solo album after Songs for a Tailor, and I forget what the other one that I have is called. It was the one after that. So Jack Bruce. We have an EP from Genesis called Spot the Pigeon, 3 tracks. Match of the Day, Pigeons, and Inside Out. So this is, I believe, from 1977. Phil Collins on lead vocals on this, and this is some pretty good Genesis. I've been wanting this EP for a while. It's on blue vinyl. And then a soundtrack that I've been looking for. I don't have a lot of soundtracks. The Cal soundtrack by Mark Knopfler. This is an all-instrumental. A lot of Celtic sounds on this. Quite relaxing. Quite good to listen to. It's obviously not your Dire Straits type stuff, but Mark Knopfler does have a few good soundtracks. I have this one now, and I have Local Hero, which came before this. My first vinyl by the band The Church. The Church, of course, from Australia. Quite unfamiliar with their discography. This is actually an EP, or the title of this, which is Remote Luxury, is the title of an EP, but this has been fleshed out with a few more tracks. So there's actually 10 tracks on this. I don't know if this is a Canadian only or what it is, but it's definitely not an official album of theirs, and this is my first Church vinyl. I never see the Church out there. And then probably the find of the day for me, I was really wanting to find this. Who's Missing? This is sort of a B-sides, rarities collection by The Who. Quite a good accompaniment to their other B-sides collection, Odds and Sods. This one, side 1, is from 65 to 67 and has tracks like an alternate version of I'm a Boy, an alternate version of Marianne with the Shaky Hands. So 65 to 67, which is much more your mod sounding Who. And then side 2 is 70 to 72, sort of your, more of your Who's Next type Who. You got a studio version of Heaven and Hell, which I think first appeared on the Live at Leeds album. I don't even know myself, and there's a live version on here of Bargain, originally on Who's Next. So Who's Missing? Got that for $7. That was a good find. Another Mark Knopfler related release. We have the Notting Hillbillies. This was released after Between Brothers in Arms and On Every Street. It includes the one lead vocal song from Mark Knopfler. Sorry about that. So I was on the Notting Hillbillies, Mark Knopfler and crew. Guy Fletcher is on here from Dire Straits. So this was an album that Mark released with a couple other guys. Can't remember their names, but I played this quite a bit back in the day. It was during sort of my peak Dire Straits period. This came after, like I said, Brothers in Arms, but before On Every Street. So I think this was somewhere around 87, 88 that this album came out. There was a big lead single called Your Own Sweet Way, which was the only track off of this album that was sung by Mark Knopfler. Definitely my favorite song by far, and found this for $10, so that was worth picking up. And then finally, we have Andy Summers and Robert Fripp, their first album together called I Advance Masked. I have their other one called Bewitched. This one's much better, all instrumental. This was released back in '82 in between the Police's Ghost in the Machine and Synchronicity album. Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.